So this, I'm gonna use mainly on the not polished powders. I'm gonna use the C&D Blue Label because that's what works best for me. It might work for you too, but definitely more of a darker liquid monomer will work best with these colors. This product, essentially. And I'll be doing a little bit runny, so definitely got like too much liquid there. Like I said, I'm just gonna test this powder, and it's definitely buttery. So I'm gonna get less liquid now, okay? So like the first finger is like your trial finger when you try new products or new monomer, you'll get the feel of it eventually, okay? But definitely easy to control. It's like this stuff up here is not even dried yet. So I am going to put another bead and just make sure I get a nice apex because it's definitely a long nail. So I'm gonna wait a little longer. Perfect. Now the not polished, when the rest of this powder is runny, but it's not like the runny where you'll get like all over the place. It's still a little bit malleable, so you can actually pick it up or mold it with your brush and mold it the way you want. So this white's definitely one to be desired because it's like what you mix clear and white. So if you don't want to go through all that time mixing stuff, you can actually just buy it from their website. This is what this one looks like. So I use this fairly often with my ombres if I'm using a nude or a pink. So I'm never gonna increase I'm gonna wait a little bit longer between my beads. My timing is too much. I'm going too quick with this powder. Okay, good. Perfect. So let's do a 2 bead just in case, just so we can get our timing down a little bit. And you can see the powder starting to marble, okay? And you'll know. There you go. That's the consistency I want. Definitely a little bit of waste here, which I really hate. I know I always tell you guys no waste, but sometimes then I will because we're testing the powder out a little bit. By the time I get to the 3rd or 4th finger, I'll have it down. And that's what you gotta do when you're working with stuff. Sometimes it's not cooperative. You gotta use the first couple fingers to a little bit understand the powder a little bit. Know how much liquid you wanna use. So I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer. I know this is still a little bit wet. See how it moves? Don't wait too long though. There you go, perfect. People ask me what's the butter consistency. I'll explain to you guys. Buttery is like when you leave butter in room temperature, and it still holds its form, but it's very soft. That you can actually spread it across bread or whatever, and it is a nice consistency. So butter that is in the fridge is too hard. That's like, you know, you don't want that. And when they say buttery, that's what they mean. Like room temperature butter that still holds its shape, but still, you know, you can spread it very easily. That's what they mean when they say, oh, the powder is really buttery or this and that. That's kind of what you want to look for when you look for a color powder, like a buttery consistency, so that it's still, you know, hardens, but it still has the ability to mold. Actually, not a lot of people know that term. Hey guys. Hey, yeah, Ebony. I usually never had apex and my nails last long. First time I heard it, so long nails. It depends, Portia. The apex is not for your nails to last long. It's for durability. It depends how long you do it. If you're doing like extreme long, and the apex is for when you do break your nail. There's gonna be a time when you break your nail. If you have no apex, you're gonna be in a lot of pain. I guarantee you. I'm back to one beading. Yeah, I understand the powder a little bit more, so I definitely know how to work with it now. I know the powder, liquid to powder ratio. I know my timing. That's why you want the buttery consistency when you use powders like this, because you know it's not running all over the place, but you're still going to be able to control it, move it, just like that. Minimal waste, exactly what I wanted. And I'm gonna go up again, and I'm gonna check on the apex. I do have a little bit, nope, see, I can still mold it, see? Even though I can still mold it. So I'll go up and I'm gonna hit up the cuticle just a little bit, just to get that apex. And plus the apex definitely gives it a more lovely look. If you ever have seen long nails with apex, it just has that elongation. It looks really nice. If you have really long nails and it's just flat, it just doesn't look good. I don't think it just sticks out. Like always, guys, if you like it, hit the share button. People a lot of people always ask about this color, and here it is. Okay. Sometimes even when I one bead, I do like to leave myself some space to work with in the cuticles, because I like to do minimal cuticle work, and I like to make sure I have a lot of control of the cuticle, especially when I'm using a new powder like this, and definitely using liquid. And like I showed you guys, even though my beads were not cooperative, they actually was easy to recover. You have a lot more time for recovery than most. Let's say if it's way too runny, it'll be all over the place. Or if it's way too dry, it'll be all over the place. So I have to build the apex now. The consistency that we're looking for is what we're able to mold still. And I'll show you what I mean by a very desirable, oh, I missed a spot here. I'll show you what I mean later when I say a very desirable apex and what it looks like from the side view. That's what I mean. It's not always about nails breaking. You have that apex, it gives you a very desirable look. It adds to the nail itself. And the apex doesn't have to be ginormous either. Good evening. I do upload, so if you follow my Facebook, see first, and you'll be able to see all these lives whenever I go live, so you don't miss anything. And then you can share your Facebook, and then you'll be able to just go on your Facebook feed later, and you'll see it. Or your friends will see it. You know, you might help out sees it. You're helping spread positivity. Nothing wrong with that, right? So I asked you guys, the only thing I need you guys to do is share, that's it. Support the platform, support Nail Dad, and these videos will keep on coming. We had special fun sets today. We had 3D flower, we had abstract art. I mean, tomorrow is a very, 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 very long lineup. We got a lot of things tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot of lives tomorrow, okay guys? So if you have a day off tomorrow, definitely you're guaranteed 1 or 2 lives a day, at least. And that's weekdays, and weekends are definitely guaranteed lives. Now Apex does take a little bit longer to build, but if you're doing long nails, it really makes a difference. If you're at the skill level to know how to build it, definitely do, because it makes your nails have that unique look, that should look that you don't see in other nails. And when you see in the pictures, like, oh wow, why does that look like that? It's because someone knew how to build the Apex. I like working with milky white, even though it's a color, it doesn't stain the monomer. So if you notice why I'm dropping my bead sideways, it's because my brush is really big and the finger is small, so definitely picking up powder there. I'll come back with a second bead. That's okay. Now, if you don't pick up a powder, just make sure you spread whatever you have throughout the nail so that you'll have an even feel. Don't just drop it and then, oh, I don't have enough powder, so I'm just gonna leave a chunk there and I'll just fill it up there. No, spread it throughout the nail, then you have another even surface, right? And you just grab another bead and you go over the whole thing again. This nail's longer than I thought it was. Always recovery. I feel like my one beading is getting weaker because I keep showing you guys two beads. Definitely gotta change it up. Get back my one bead. But definitely this powder is new, so I'm definitely gonna getting used to it and know the monomer liquid ratio. And it's definitely a little bit harder when you're doing nails this long. But it's okay since the powder is really good. And we don't mind. So if you were to do two beads, that's how you would do it. I showed you earlier. A little bit more manageable, two beading. I use gravity to do some of the work for me. Nothing's gonna pull the powder more even than gravity, I'm telling you. You know what? I don't want to waste. So on this bead, I'm gonna pick a little bit more powder up, and I'm gonna use the second bead as my apex and also my cuticle. Press them even out. Make sure it's nice and even with the nail. As always, I'm using a C&D retention. Your liquid might be maybe more runny, or it might be a little more dry, but it doesn't mean that you can't use your liquid for this powder. Okay, it's just this is what I use, so to make sure that maybe what you're seeing, you like the consistency. You may not get the same, it doesn't mean it's the powder. You definitely have to maybe try a different liquid. Like we talked about it for fast drying liquid, slow drying liquid. It's a variety of things. This is definitely a more slow drying liquid. So now I'm gonna hit up with the apex. My other Valentino and Young Nail liquid has not come in yet, so when that comes in, I'll do a little test for you guys. When I'm pulling, I'm going very soft. I'm not putting any pressure, okay? When you're pulling the powder, make sure you get nice, even strokes all the way down the nail line so you don't get any hiccups along the way and leave powder where you shouldn't. I'm really excited to use some of the colors that Not Polished sent me. Ooh, there's some really neon looking colors. Gnarly. Can't wait to do some ombres with those. Adriana, hey, look, I have nothing against stickers, and I do use them sometimes, but I have trying to get a specific set or desired look. But the reason why I don't do it is because I want to keep I'm working on my nail art myself, my personal growth. So I don't want to, whenever I get a chance to do something by hand, I'm definitely going to do it. It may not look as perfect as stickers, but it gives me the ability to grow. And when I get to the point where where I'm at, then I'll switch over a little bit to speed up. But I do enjoy doing nail art sometimes because it just gives me the ability to just freestyle, you know, be myself. And you see how whenever I do nail art, I'm just super quiet because I'm really focused. And I never want to get to the point where I want to stop growing. That's why nail art is my next goal, and that's what I'm gonna try to achieve. And whenever I get a chance to do it or practice, I will. And I always try to get it in most of my freestyle sets, just so I can keep my skill sets so sharp. If you don't do nail art for a while, it goes away. Like you get rusty, especially with the lines, steady hands. A variety of things can happen. Most powder will probably dry up by then, but I guess this is a buttery powder, so you get a little bit more time to work with it, even though after it's already set or al dente. I think that's perfect. Okay, I like that. I think if I was gonna put my nail kit together, I think I would add this to it, just so you guys can get a chance to work with some colors other than acrylic, and also have it be easier for you guys. tonight I'm gonna go through a little bit of a few things that a lot of people ask me, and I'm pretty sure everybody has the same problem with. Why don't you use base coat? Why don't you cap the nail when you polish?